in the diet, which then throws your horse's hindgut, the bacteria changes, and then that potentiates some colic. So judicious use is always in moderation. Things usually are not going to be a problem. And I think the way Holly portrayed it is accurate. It's okay, but what you add to it can be not good.
We feed very little, and it's mostly with hot water. I boil water on the stove and add, like it's a hot cereal.
Oatmeal, yeah.
There you go. It's, you know, and they like
Irish cut.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we used to julienne carrots by hand. My mom would say, put those in the bran and take them out to the horses. But we know now Dr. White in Virginia did some good research on colic, and a lot of it is based on nutrition changes, precipitous nutrition changes. Let's see, is sand colic a concern when riding in the desert? I mean, we see 2 or 3 sand colics here a year. And I would say the last 2 weren't even horses that went to the desert. But I would say one we saw not too long ago was a horse that got fed. You know, they weren't feeding the horse quite enough. So the horse was eating everything it was fed and then vacuuming, you know, every little scintilla of grass off a sandy kind of road-basy ground. And over time, the horses accumulated some sand in his large colon, and he had some sand colic issues. If you're in that situation, adding psyllium crumbles to the diet 4 to 5 days a month has been helpful, shown to be helpful in reducing that sand accumulation in the large colon.
Do you still put manure in a
that's my trick.
thing?
Yes, I do.
To see how much sand is in there.
And occasionally I get a palpation sleeve that has a hole in it, and I make a mess. Yes, we know that
nylon too. Put it in a nylon.
You got to have it on the truck, and I've got already more than I have room for on the truck. So the trick, though, remember with sand is I always tell people, you know, with a stethoscope, a lot of times if you're lucky, you can hear sand. It sounds just like you're rubbing your hair between your thumb and finger in your ear. Like that's how it sounds when you listen for it.
Yeah.
And then realize that we know that sand is not continuously cleared from and with each equal pile of poop. So if you see sand, it's positive predictive. Okay, yes, I've got a sand colic, very likely. But if you don't see sand and you hear sand, or your horse is being fed on a sandy substrate, I don't think that rules out that you couldn't have a sand colic.
Okay. Wow.
And they can be challenging. So they're better, easier, cheaper to avoid than treat.
Wow. One thing that you were talking about having your vet kit with you, somebody made a comment, this was a couple months ago, that they kept a second vet kit tied around their waist, because if they lost their horse down a ravine or something like that, or their mule where their vet kit was packed, they had their vet kit with them.
I stopped a long time ago thinking I would have seen every possible emergency. We saw a horse go ass over tea kettle down a ravine 2 summers ago with all the pack and all of everything. Owner didn't get hurt, and it was amazing. The horse landed at the bottom and just stood up and was like, wow. Okay, now I got to go up the hill. Same thing happened at the Basalt 82 bridge. That as you go where that DOT little garage is on the left and you see the river down below you going up valley, we had a horse ran off that hillside and lost its footing and ran down, fell in the river and floated downstream to the beaver dam.
Oh my God.
You know, with a saddle on, and now you've got to cut the saddle off and figure out how to get the hypothermic horse back up the hill.
Wow.
So I mean, yeah, you could have, you think
Yeah.
you've covered all your bases and then a horse does something.
And then some. Okay.
So,
Wow.
well,
Jeff asked a
I,
question about
go ahead.
the CMC Vet Tech program. And maybe, Jeff, you could tell us a little bit about your involvement with it.
Jeff, you're muted.
I've worked at CMC for about a year and a half. I came from the Front Range, and I work in the Central Services Office in downtown Glenwood Springs in the IT department.
Wow.
So I'm your closet IT geek.
Can we call you next time when we're having trouble with Zoom?
Hey, Jeff, I have an idea. With the CMC Vet Tech program up there and your involvement in their IT department, I would be happy to go up there and make the videos with the Vet Tech students. And there must be some photography, videography student that wants to do high quality videos. I do not profess to know how to do anything other than an iPhone. If there's interest, I'd be happy to help with that.
Well, we could reach out to Dr. Myers, and I'm forgetting the other veterinarian, her name, but that, and then there's the Walter Isaacson School of Multimedia Graphics with all their studio and camera stuff. And yeah, I'm sure that we could round up a student interested in being involved, somebody from the Isaacson program and Dr. Myers or somebody from that program, and team them all up, and maybe videos.
I've seen the videos my kids make with the iPhone movie program, and it's like blows me away. So
well, that'll be great.
How old are your kids, Chuck?
almost 18 and almost 19.
Wow.
So yeah, it's crazy.
It's been a long time.
I was thinking of you the other day, Holly, carrying a foal or, up at Moon Run. I drove up there, past there, and I was reminiscing of, oh, I remember when, or oh, I remember when.
Yeah, long
That's
time.
a while.
So I think what I can do, Jeff, and by the way, Taylor Van Zee says hello. She's one of our board members.
Hi, Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
And we can share these emails, and we can, I'll write up a little thing about doing some of these IT projects, and then we can see if we can get some engine on this thing. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be good. Well,
how bad is Basalt Mountain with old barbed wire?
I mean, I personally found old barbed wire on it with me, and I'm like, I don't, I find the blue spruce tree, dead blue spruce tree, to be more problematic than barbed wire.
Barbed wire. Wow.
What do you find, Susan?
I agree with you can find it anywhere. I mean, we've been on the same trail, I don't know how many times, 25 times maybe. And all of a sudden this horse has wire around its hind leg.
Wow.
No, it didn't get cut. We jumped off and pulled the wire off. But I mean, how many times have we gone by there? And this time he stepped in the wire.
Yeah.
That no one had ever seen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get a nice trail metal detector.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Forest Service has all sorts of money they'd be willing to throw at that.
Yeah.
That's it. Good answer. Having a Leatherman, though, on your belt is a really good thing in that situation.
Yeah.
You can get out of it
Yeah.
fast before the horse even figures out what's going on.
Freaks out.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we can't thank you enough, Chuck, for your time tonight. And you said that you'd like to do it again, and maybe we could do something right after the new year.
We could have a 2.0.
Yeah.
Please.
A 2.0.
No, I think it's a great
Thank
idea.
you for taking the time.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
I have tons of pictures and tons of stories, and
I bet you do.
And I think we have, is this Liz that's right here? Hi, Liz. Liz's phone.
Liz Tucker.
Liz Tucker. Fantastic.
Welcome.
Liz,
Hi.
there you are.
Yeah, I've got my kids kind of running around and stuff, but yes, I usually can't come to your meetings because we're down in Denver most of the winter. So it was great to get to hear all this. This is really helpful. Hi, Susan.
Oh, isn't that great? And then it looks like Rita's on, and so we have another participant, 948. That's Rita's. It looks like, yeah, it looks like Rita's on twice, doesn't it, Chuck?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
We sent
Very
her
high-tech, Rita.
twice the bill. That's impressive.
One
Now,
for each
Jeff, do you
year.
have any more questions? Nada? How about you, Doug?
All good. Thank you very much, Chuck, for sharing with us today. It's wonderful.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure to meet you.
My pleasure. I'll look forward to doing that in person sometime soon.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
and I want to say I really appreciate it. You know, the being prepared and not panicking and having a list, it all helps.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the
Yeah.
things that really, we got a couple texts up, one in Avalanche, the one last summer. The ability for that little iStat, you know, thing to text, you know,
Yeah.
they pair with your phone now, and it's satellite links, and I don't know any vet that doesn't share their cell phone anymore. And it's like, oh, I'm at so-and-so and have this and this and this. And I mean, communication is key. And, you know, I can remember a couple horses, that beaver pond going up Capitol Creek Trail on wet years, horses getting stuck with that. And there's a couple spots on that trail that have cell phone service, and people would call, and then you'd drive up there, you know, past Rupert's and wait at the trailhead. And
Wow, that's a big deal. And that's a satellite uplink, huh?
it's my wife insisted I get one after I kept getting injured going into the backcountry, and enables her to know that I'm not hurt, but I can talk to her as well. So
Yeah, that's a good idea. And maybe just for everyone that's listening, because you may not know, this summer, unfortunately, we lost one of our board members to an untimely demise. But we worked with the Aspen Fire Department, and we are sponsoring in her memory the Leslie Thomas Large Animal Rescue. And it's a program. It's going to start probably this winter or spring, whenever COVID goes a little further down the road. But it's because of Chuck that I found that out, and we put this whole thing together, and it's a huge deal. So that whenever a horse or a large animal, you know, it could be an elk or a cow or something, gets hurt out there on out on the landscape, we're going to be able to go and help them. So thanks, Chuck.
I share that with Riri Baker. She and I have bantered back and forth since the late 90s about wanting to have some form of rescue apparatus, you know, that, you know, brain over brawn, you know, having the appropriate tools for the region so that when the horse falls down Aspen Mountain, you know, it can be more easily rescued and so forth, or in the river or whatever. So I was very happy to hear that the community came together and thought that was a good idea.
No, good. Well, thank you very much. All right, you guys, we're going to sign off for tonight. Thank you for spending, looks like an hour and almost 25 minutes with us. Appreciate it.
Chuck,
Well,
thank you so
Thank
much.
you again, Chuck.
Thank you.
Stay well,
everybody.
stay healthy.
All right.
Everybody stay healthy.
Good night, everybody. Thanks.
night.
I'll be in touch by email.
Thanks.